Hiya, I'm Izzy and I thought I would do a cook-along video today. I'm on Slimming World and I need to get a little bit better organised with having all the meals ready and prepped. We had half term last week and I think which added to it, but I just really struggled to stay on plan and I just felt like I was hungry all the time, and I think it's because I didn't have stuff ready. So that's what I really want to do this week. So I'm going to do some meals for the family that we can either keep in the fridge or freeze, and then I've also got a few things that I'm going to make ahead for breakfast and snacks and lunches. So the first one is a chicken stew, which is from the Save with Jamie Oliver book, and that's really nice, and the only thing you have to sin in it is the flour, so I use the leftover roast chicken for that one. Then the next is a couple from the Slimming World website that I haven't done before, but they look really nice, so I'm going to do the meatloaf with a tomato glaze, and then also the Homety Pies. I'm not sure if I've said that right, but they look good and you can freeze them, so I'm going to do those to go with sausages kind of towards the end of the week. Snacks, if I get time, I'm going to do the egg muffins. Breakfast, I'm going to make a load of overnight oats, and then also for lunches I'm going to cook up some pasta ready. Okay, so this is the recipe for the meatloaf. You can make it as mini ones, but I haven't got a mini muffin tin, so I'm just going to do a big one and then cut it up into slices. And here's all the bits that I've got ready. So here's the stuff here for the meatloaf, then I've got all the bits out here for the homety pie, and then other than the meat, there's all the stuff ready for the chili, and then when I get a minute, I'm gonna make up a few overnight oats. Okay, so for the meatloaf, I think basically all you do is get everything prepped and then chuck it all in a bowl, mix it together. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've got all the prep done over here. So there's one courgette grated, one carrot grated, and then a small onion chopped up, but I'm using up some red ones that I needed to use, so I've just done half of a big one of those. And then in here is 500 grams of pork mince, although I saw in the recipe you can actually do pork, turkey or beef, but we use a lot of beef mince, so I thought I'd do pork this time. And then basically chuck it all in. Along with the meat and the vegetables, there's then 2 garlic cloves crushed up. Next it's 2 teaspoons of barbecue seasoning, 2 teaspoons of tomato puree, 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, and then 4 tablespoons of passata. Last thing I've just put in is a beaten up egg, which will bind it all together. I think then I've now just got to put my hands in, get messy and mix it all together, put it in a tin and bake it in the oven. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that actually, because I hadn't really thought about it until I was doing it, but the vegetables that are in it are the ones that I put in my chilli and my children will eat, because they are really fussy when it comes to veg, but I think because it's kind of grated inside this, it should be okay. And I know that the only time they have issues with grated carrot is because sometimes it can make sauces and stuff go a bit sloppy, but because this is going to be pretty dense in a meatloaf, I think it should be okay. So I'm going to put this in the oven now on 160 fan assisted, and on the recipe it says put in the tins and then bake for 25 minutes, but I'm thinking because it's bigger that it's going to take longer, so I'm going to set a timer for half an hour and have a look at it, and then you take it out and you put all the glaze on and then put it back in and it goes in. Okay, so next one I'm doing is homety pies, and these from the Slimming World website as well. So I've just been doing some of the prep for the homety pies. First of all, potatoes, I've just peeled these, you need 340 grams, so I've just got to cube those up and then they boil. Next it's the veg, and it was 225 grams of onions and also leeks, but I haven't actually been that exact. I've just picked 2 leeks and 1 big onion, because I figure with these kind of things it doesn't matter as much. And then peas, it was very exact on the Slimming World website. I actually said you needed 198 grams, so I feel like that might be a typo or something. But anyway, I've done 200 like, or so, basically in a bowl. So next thing I need to do, oh I can hear that's the kettle boiling, I've just got to cube these up a little bit and then put them on to cook. I'm being lazy and using this massive knife because I've just used the other one in the other recipe, and yeah, I can't bother to wash anything up, so I've just got to watch my fingers. And then yeah, while these are cooking, the potatoes, you then fry off the veg for 10 minutes. So that's the leeks, the onions and the peas, and then you put a couple of garlic cloves in there as well. And they all fry down for about 6 minutes, and you use the fry light spray as well. Well, I've got the Aldi one. I'm going to get these in, get the veg going, and then in the kids' back. So Rosie really wants to help. Albert's watching telly, so I said that she can come and help me make the overnight oats in a minute. But I want to get this bit out of the way before she comes in. Bulky frozen peas. Now I said at the start that that this would be 4 portions, which would be for me, my husband and my children, but I'm looking at this and they're not going to eat this. This is way too green. I can get my children to eat peas if they're on the side, or broccoli the same, but when it's something that's really mixed up, unless it's in like a mince or something kind of a dark red where they can't really see it, then this will just throw them, I think. So I think what I'll do is I'll put it into 2 portions, and then we'll have one in the fridge this week, and then the other one, I know then I've got a freezer meal, which actually is quite good for us, because I always get, once I've made one dinner for the kids at like 5 o'clock, and then by the time my husband gets home, and then the thought of having to cook again, if I haven't done something that we can all have, it'll be quite nice knowing there's one of these in the freezer that I can just stick in with some sausages. So I'll go for that. The buzz has just gone for the meatloaf, so I'm going to have a look what it looks like. Oh no. It's getting there, but it needs longer. I think obviously because it's in the pan on its own. Actually, I'm going to turn it up a bit. So on the website it's 160, but I'm going to go to 180 because it's just one big massive one on its side. And then I'm going to have a look at it in another 7 minutes. Right, so I have drained and mashed the potatoes over there, and I've got a handful of parsley, a handful of thyme, 2 eggs and 2 garlic cloves. So I just need to beat those up and then add it in along with the vegetables. And the only other thing you add in then is grated cheese, and I think it's 225 grams in total, and then you put half in it now and then the other half on the top. I've only got a bag with about that half amount left, so I'm just going to stick that in, and then when I cook it in the week I'm then going to put the cheese on top before I do it. And then for sins for this, that just made me think of it. Basically the only sins in it are the cheese, and if you do it the way it says in the recipe, then it's 6 sins per person. But if you're using your cheese as your healthy option, then you can just take it off and it's sin free. I can never do that because I always use all of mine with my milk and my coffee. Right, well that's all taken a lot longer than I thought it would. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the overnight oats for my little girl, because I promised she could help, and then I want to get them to bed, especially because it's the start of the new term tomorrow. It's Sunday night, so I want to get them to bed sorted. I'm going to take the chicken out, and then I'll come down after they're asleep, and I'm going to do the other 2. I'm going to do the chili, chicken stew, and I'll see how I feel if I'm then going to do the muffins. Right, so for my oats, I do 40 grams of oats, and then I'm going to light with some peach and some blueberries, and I do some grated up apple as well, so it's got a bit of crunch, it's not too salty. Right, so you pick a yogurt and put one in. I
love Simba. And Mummy, can I have a little help here?
Yeah, that's good. That's just right, that's perfect. Right, that's an apple. You just need to stir it. What's funny?
Can I grate the apple?
In a minute, you can do a little bit. So first of all, stir the yogurt.
With the oats in. Stir the yogurt. This is how the yogurt's doing. Lumpy, Mummy.
Don't eat it all, that's my breakfast.
This looks nice. I'll try.
In a minute. No, not yet. It went at the end. You can try at the end, okay? Right, there's some apple as well.
Oh.
No!
You like this?
Stop. No more eating it because that's my breakfast.
Okay.
Right.
This is my mum's breakfast. Doesn't
Yes.
it nice?
It does. I'm going to try that one, okay?
But I'm just having oats.
Oats. There you go. You have that spoon. Try a bit of that one. And I'm going to finish stirring these ones. And
Are you going to try them too?
Okay, I'll try too. It's nice, isn't it?
Never had them try it.
Yay, is it good? Good, right. Okay, I've tidied up the mess from those overnight oats, but at least we got them made, and Rosie loved doing it. So kids have had their tea, and while they did that, I've also cooked some pasta because Rosie wanted that anyway, and the chicken's out, and Ian carved it for me because I just hack at a chicken. So that is here. You can see I've now got 4 loads of pasta. So 2 of these are going to be for my little girl, for Rose, for her lunch, and then the other 2 are going to be for me, and I'm going to put some chicken in them, and then I'll have them with salad tomorrow and the next day. Hello, I'm back. Right, kids are in bed, hopefully asleep, and I have now come back to do the chicken stew and also the chilli. I've got coffee on to keep me awake, and I've just been doing all the prep for the stew, and I thought I'll show you how I change it to the Jamie Oliver one to make it Slim and Well friendly. So this is the book here. It's the Save with Jamie, and it's the Jamie Oliver book, and it's really, really good if you haven't got it. There's loads of recipes in here that you can adapt for Slimming World, and this is the one that I do when I'm looking for something that I just want to fill up on. And I used to make this all the time, and actually, so it's with the leftover chicken from your roast, and there's loads of different ways you can have it, and actually all of them are really good, especially the lasagna one. It sounds weird, but it's really, really yummy. But when I'm doing Slimming World, I still make the stew how he says, but I just make a couple of changes. So the first one is with the amount of chicken, I put a little bit more in so that it fills me up, because I'm not going to have it with any of these things. So what the idea is that you either make it into a pie or lasagna, or have it with dumplings or with mash, and because I'm not going to do any of those, I put more chicken in. So the recipe says 300, but it's more like 500. Obviously, I mean, it's however much is left over if I've got a roast. But if I've got loads, then I will go up to about 500. And then the next is olive oil. Obviously, I just use Fry Light instead. And the other one is with the bacon. So and I know that you're obviously supposed to use the rashers of streaky bacon, so the fat helps it cook and taste really good. But I either have the healthy medallion bacon bit, so there isn't any fat on it, or like now, I stand and cut it all off before I put it in. So the first thing you do is cut up your bacon and get it ready. And then here's the veg I've prepped. So it's 2 or 3 carrots, 2 potatoes, and then a couple of onions. So all the veg is sitting down with the bacon. Oh, it's all steaming up. And I'm just going to add now a few sprigs of thyme and a couple of bay leaves. So after this is sweated down for about 10 minutes, the next thing you have to add in is flour and the chicken. Flour's the only thing that's got sins in it. You have to add 1 tablespoon, and so if you need, I think there's 4.5 sins in 25 grams of flour, and there's only about 14 grams in a tablespoon, so I kind of round it up and count it as 4 sins. So I say per portion, because you can split this into 4, it's 1 sin per meal, so I think that's pretty good. So you stick that in, then the chicken, give it a stir, and then you add some stock. Now, in the Jamie Oliver recipe, you make the stock with the carcass of the roast chicken, but I never bother with that. It's just too much of a faff for me, so I then make it up with a stock pot, a chicken one. I've added in the stock pot and about 1 litre of water, and this now needs to cook down for about an hour or so. So I've moved on to my chilli. First of all, loads more veg prep again. It is in there a couple of carrots, half courgette, a couple of sticks of celery, and onion, and then you can see the chicken stew is just cooking away at the back there. I've now added in 500 grams of mince, and then, sorry, that's my little cup spoons clattering about, and also some of the spices. So I do 2 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of paprika, only about half a teaspoon of chilli, because my kids have this as well, so we don't really like loads of kick, and then also a clove of garlic. Next, I add the tomato puree, and I add loads. That's what makes it really rich, is the tomato puree and the beef stock. So I add 6 tablespoons of tomato puree, and then top it up with beef stock, and then let it just kind of cook down and thicken up. Another thing that I do is add some Worcestershire sauce at the end. If you want any of the ingredients and things for that, then that's a recipe that's on my blog, A Suffolk Mum, and I'll put the link below. And I'm actually going to do lots more videos like this with Slimming Well recipes, because I've got lots on there that I'm going to be adding over the next few weeks. Just doing my egg muffins now. So I've got 6 eggs in here that I've beaten up. I think everyone does these a little bit differently, don't they? So I've got eggs, and I'm going to put in mine cottage cheese and also some salmon, and then some spinach. I actually prefer broccoli, but I can't bother to cook any more vegetables now, so I'm going to put spinach in because I quite like that as well. I'm finally done. Muffins come out, and I've got everything wrapped up. So I've got the meatloaf there, Homety Pies to freeze. overnight oats. I can't find these 2 lids, so I'm gonna have to cling film those. My stew ready for tomorrow, and then pasta, and then I've got my chilli portioned up. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is going to be my first of lots of slimming world videos like this, so please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Okay, thanks, bye.